Most network marketers don't have a lead problem, they have an attraction to conversation problem. They post, they share stories, they talk about the opportunity, about the transformation, but nothing really happened. And in this video, we will talk about how you can solve this problem and how you can solve this even for your team. Because it's not about posting on social media just random stuff about your product, about your opportunity, about your life and what you're doing in your life. No, it's all about creating something that people who watch you silently raise their hand and say, hey, I want you to help me. And therefore, you need to create a lead magnet. And the lead magnet is helping you to do this bridge. This is the purpose of the lead magnet. And if you understand this, the whole concept is changing completely. Because to be honest, nobody wakes up in the morning and say like, I need another random generic 5 steps to how to change your life again, because that is too generic. A good lead magnet does something complete different. It solves a small problem. It helps the right person to solve a specific problem, and most likely it creates the reason for them to start having a conversation with you. And that's the whole game. And I will show you now in the video how you can create different types of lead magnet that helps you exactly to do this. So a lead magnet creates a moment of commitment. It's the difference between someone just watching you and watching your story and someone who says, hey, please send me that. That's a tiny action that really makes a huge difference, because from this moment, someone asks you for something, the relationship changes. They are not longer a viewer, they're actually a lead. A person who's interested in the things you are offering. And here's the thing that most people do wrong. They create something super broad. They create it too broad that they try to help everyone. They call it like how to live your best life, or how to grow your online business, or how to get more energy, or my wellness guide. The problem is not that this topic is too broad. The problem is that it's not clear enough who you're talking to. So if someone says how to grow your business online, they might think, okay, yeah, maybe later. But if a network marketer says, hey, the 7-day follow-up fix, never forget who to send a message again, that hits different, right? Because now you speak to a real pain problem. And that's the first rule for a strong lead magnet. You must solve a specific problem for a specific person. Not 10 problems and not the whole crowd and the whole business. It's just one problem. For example, if your audience are women who want to lose weight, you pick up one specific topic, for example, women over 40 who are in their menopause who want to lose weight. That is way, way more specific and addresses already a specific problem for this specific niche. And that's also super important because people have to understand what they are getting. They should expect the right thing they get from this lead magnet, because the lead magnet is a beautiful tool to gain in trust, because you offer me something, I think, oh, this person really understands me, I downloaded it, and then you over-deliver. And the moment you over-deliver and you look at the PDF or the other stuff, we come to this in a second, they see, oh, this is pretty good. That actually helps me. And this is the amazing part. The moment they get something that really helps them, the way how they look at you suddenly changed, because suddenly they see you some kind of an expert. Suddenly they see you as someone they can come to if they have a real problem. And the cool part is, if you solved a small problem, they project that you also can solve bigger problems. And that is the one thing where the conversation starts and where you can find out, hey, what kind of solution they already tried, and then you can come speaking about your product. So how does now a good lead magnet look like? First of all, and the most important thing is, your lead magnet is not your product, because that would not be a lead magnet, that would be even a sales pitch. So a lead magnet is something you give out before, so that you start building a relationship, having them solve a tiny problem, and then it open up for a longer conversation. And in this conversation, they might be interested for your product. And this is the way you tackle this. And here are different ways how and what lead magnets you can do. First of all, you can do a PDF. This is a guide. It has to be more specific and not too broad, solving one specific problem for one specific person. The other thing is what you can do forms, or you can do a quiz, so that people love to find out, hey, are you this body type or are you this body type? People love to self-assess themselves, so this is also a pretty good way to create a lead magnet. Another thing is a checklist. So for example, a 7-day energy reset checklist. That feels helpful. And this small yes could answering a question. So what is the biggest struggle right now? Craving, low energy, emotional eating, or consistency? And that starts the conversation. So you see, you offer something where they said, oh, this is interesting, I want to find out for myself. It should help me to solve a problem. And then you start having the conversation. Hey, by the way, I just saw that you downloaded my lead magnet. What was the one thing that is the most important thing for you right now? So what is the biggest struggle right now? What did you done in the past? And that is completely different to, hey, do you want to buy my product? That is a huge step, and it's super, super important. And for example, if we look into travel, it could be find your perfect travel style, or 10 questions for a trip finder, the best weekend escape checklist, how to plan your next trip without spending hours searching online. So you see, there's immediately things. For me, in traveling, it would be like how to get business flights for economy prices. That would be a PDF I would always download. Or how to get 5-star hotels for a discount price. And here, it's not about your product directly. No, it's the bridge. And then you would start, hey, Sasha, I saw you like this and this and this. What is the biggest thing you're interested when you travel? And then we would have a conversation. So this is how you set up a lead magnet. It's about solving a problem, addressing a specific problem for a specific niche and for a specific person. Solving a small problem, and don't put your product inside of it. That is after the lead magnet. The lead magnet just opens the door. If you're too fast in pitching the product, everything feels like sales. And if there's no trust and no belief, people will hop off because they think, oh, this guy just wants to sell me something, instead really helping me to solve my problem, because everyone is looking at him and not on the other person. So be aware, it's not about overwhelming people with more information, because people already know so much. They have ChatGPT, they have diets, they have videos, they have recipes, they have influencers, they have apps, calories, tracking, all the different stuff. And they don't need more confusion, they need one simple step. And the same is true for traveling. There are so many flights you can compare, there's so many destinations, there's so many TikTok informations. They don't need more noise, they need clarity. So a lead magnet should help to move them fast. So a quiz works well to give them some clarity. A checklist works well to give them a simple plan. A script, a message works well, a planner. So there are multiple ways. I can tell you from our team how we use the lead magnet also is if we're offering a generic call. So if it's about health, we could say like, hey, we have a doctor talking about a specific problem. And if you're interested, sign in here to get to watch this Zoom live for free. So people have to hop in, put in their information, and then in the reply, they already get the access to the Zoom room. Everything inside of Saga. So that makes everything so much easier. And that's the cool part, that it's pretty simple to set it up. And that is the last part, which is super important, that you have a lead magnet for your team that is duplicatable. And that's the cool part. If you set it up for yourself and for your team, everyone can use it. That can be used, for example, for a specific problem, if you have a specific niche, or your problem is solving a specific problem, so you can use this. The other thing is, like, if you have a specific program, you could create a checklist and people could sign up to find out if they might be a perfect fit for this program. The next thing is you could use this for example, for a quiz to find out what body type you are, what travel type you are, what spending type you are. So a quiz is also a next cool way to create a lead magnet. And the last part is how you can use it is if you have a specific call, you can use this lead magnet. Your team can use it. Everyone signs up in. Everyone has the lead inside of Saga. So it's super easy to track this, because creating a lead magnet is just the beginning. Then you need to use this as a conversation starter, asking the right question and then directing them to a solution and finding out if they are open to do so. And therefore, you have to create the lead magnet solving one specific problem for one specific niche. Then you need to get up and have some conversation starter ready and helping people to reach out to everyone who's downloading your lead magnet, because that's important. And it's also important to be fast. You cannot reach out to people after they downloaded something 2 weeks ago. And afterwards, it's also interesting to do a retrospective to find out, okay, how many people downloaded my lead magnet? How many leads did I converted? And how many leads converted into customer or partners? You need to track these numbers, because out of these numbers, you can start optimizing and helping and teaching your team. So if you have any more questions to how to set up a lead magnet and what kind of lead magnet you should do, put it in the comments. And maybe if you have other questions, feel free to put it in the comments and we will answer this with the next video. So that was Sasha from Saga, and see you in the next video.